go.
Good evening, this is Leslie. Good evening, I'm Leslie Soyan for Better Wethersfield. Welcome to the show. We haven't been on in a while, but we've got a great show tonight, something really special that I think you're all going to enjoy. Tonight is Friday, February 6, 2015. Welcome to the show. Our guest tonight is Anna Antonakos.
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 Oh,
I'm so sorry.
You practiced.
Oh, I practiced too.
It's okay.
Anna is going to talk to us tonight all about designing a room and designing the objects that you have already in your home. And she's going to show us some great ways of doing that. And she's got some wonderful props here tonight. And we're just going to really have fun with it. And she's going to show some pictures on our back screen here. And you'll see them right on the screen. And she'll describe some of those arrangements to you as well. And the process that's involved in the arrangement and the design of it. So it's going to be a really fun show. And I want to introduce you to Anna.
Yeah.
And she's going to tell us all about herself and her background in design.
Okay.
Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. I guess I should say that. What I wanted to do today, well, first we'll talk, I know you wanted me to talk about my history. I spent my education, I'm New York City, born and raised, so I went to design school in Manhattan. I went to FIT. A lot of people know of this school, Fashion Institute of Technology. I had also gone to Queens College before that for fine art. Which is actually going to relate to what we're going to do here today, because we're going to make arrangements together. And we're going to show how easy it is to be able to put together objects that are in your home to create beautiful vignettes where you can feel proud. It's people have a hard time thinking about how they edit all of the things they have in the house. So we're going to sort of look at it with an artist's eye, and that's how we're going to view it. If you have a critical eye and you look at things the same way that a painter will put together pieces for a still life, then it's going to kind of make sense, and it's going to be really easy. So with that background, I had a textile designer. For those that don't know what a textile designer does, a textile designer is a fabric designer. So this, any pattern that you see woven, whether it's printed or woven, that's what a textile designer will design first. You can see the fabric in the furniture, anything that we have here. It's the bedding, apparel. A textile designer is the one who determines the color palette, all of the design. So with that, yeah, it's great. It was great. It was great. I did that for a long time. Having done that, kind of was the segue into decorating. Obviously, you know, it's comparable in terms of how you lay out things with balance and texture and color. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I brought some pieces. This way, you know, since we're in a limited space, I thought it would be a good idea. We're not going to decorate a whole room. We could talk about decorating whole room, but for our purposes here, that's not the goal. We could talk about, I've made some, I brought some notes that I wanted to touch on a few different points. So this way it's broken down and it makes a lot of sense and it's very easy. So when you are, when you're planning a room, there are obviously things that come into play first, where we're not going to do that. There's like basic layers. You'll talk about your inspiration, what your design style is, how you want to use the room, if it's a playroom or a living room, how. That's not what we're going to do today. Those are the basic fundamental. They're building blocks. Those are all the layers. So for our purposes, we can't do that today. So we're going to do the accessories. So we're going to do the decorating.
But that's the fun part.
It is the fun part. It's like the jewelry. It's like when you're getting dressed. Right. So that's what we're we're going to do. So I'm going to take, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start with some props, and what I wanted to point out is that, here, I'll bring them to the table. I like bold, when you start off with a bold shape, a bold geometric shape, it's exciting, the contrast. If you take two shapes and there's contrast, it creates like visual interest.
Now, someone told me once that you're not supposed to decorate in even numbers.
No, I don't either. It's usually 3, 5.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. Well, because there's a nice balance there. I mean, if you could still do something where you have, let's say you have 2 lamps, and those will give you anchors. If you want to work around them, symmetry is very important. Obviously, our eye relates to that. You know, you can. It's like the 2 lions at the library. I mean, symmetrical. Exactly. It's important, but what you want to think about is balance, right? So when you have that, you're balancing, but there are 5, when you're editing, the designer becomes the artist when they're editing, right? So you have negative space, which is equally as important as actual objects. It's how you're using them.
Now, is
right?
the negative space the blank space,
the blank space? So to help navigate the editing process, okay, there are certain reference points that every designer will use. So see, it gets broken down and it makes a lot of sense. So you've got color, obviously, right? You've got shape. You've got scale, how big or small something is, and you have texture and finish. This has a sheen.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it's those 5 things. So that's what we're going to look. So we've got scale. This is the texture of the wood, circle, right? You're going to try and get a sense of the objects we're going to put together and see how they relate to one another and see if we think that they're going to work. So let's say, so now we have these natural shapes. So here's another. We're going to put this down here. So do we like how this is kind of starting, right? So
now, would this be on a kitchen table or?
It could be on
coffee table?
It could be, yeah. I mean, I could show you what I had on my coffee table. I had a tray, kept it simple. You could do this in the middle of your dining room table. I mean, you don't have to actually. Let's say you have your long table and you're not using it. You can have the runner. You don't have to have like 1 bouquet of flowers or something, with 2 candlesticks on the right.
It's expected. What you see. Yeah, exactly. The flowers in the middle and the 2 candles on the end.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I just like to do things that are not expected, and sort of create a little bit more of a visual interest. It kind of gives it a little bit more feel or soul. And the thing is, when you take the objects that the person has in the house, you'll get a sense of the things that who they are. Yeah. So I love natural. I have a lot of rocks and I have pine cones, and I think having something from nature really adds a beauty that is. It just makes everything beautiful to me. Natural. And
what about the time of year? Does that come into play when you're?
I do. I change everything out per season.
Do you?
I do. Because
when you fall?
Well, if you're going to do, let's say you do this, you automatically get a feel that this is for
fall.
Yeah. So if I put shells out. You're going to feel like it's.
Yeah.
So that's it. And to me, when you use the natural elements, it makes the arrangement less self-conscious. So there's a more relaxed feel to it. It feels really homey, really personal, and it's your home. And when you're home, you want to kick back, relax. It's, so that's my own personal. I mean, there's nothing.
Doesn't that get expensive?
None of this stuff is expensive. To me, my most prized accents are all my stuff from nature. We have a bowl in the house, and my daughter picked up all of these pine cones and all of this stuff from my brother's driveway. She made a big, there's acorns she liked, and every year there's something else. It's just a personal, people say they don't know what their style is or what they like, but if they were to pay attention and look, they'll see that there are common elements. They gravitate towards a similar texture or a similar color.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do. If you go through someone's house and they don't know how to put anything together, kind of collect it all and then put it out in a different way, they're all going to relate to each other because that's what they naturally picked. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. All of the things that I got are local here in Wethersfield from a variety of different stores. And you know, I've worked on a budget for a really long time. I needed to always wanted to change things up. When you move things from one room to another, it also feels like they're brand new, like you just bought them.
True.
So you enjoy them in another way.
True.
So here we have lifts and levels. You put this is all relating. You have your glass, you have your texture, you have comparable color. So we might want to put a couple of pieces of fruit, so you're adding a little bit more texture, and the theme relates. Okay, so this is all, it all relates.
That's beautiful.
So it's not a mystery.
Look at that, it's right on the screen. It looks really nice.
Does it look nice? Oh,
I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's cute. Isn't that cute?
It is.
Okay.
Now, are these just dried flowers?
Yeah.
Were they real?
Yeah, they were real. I mean, they are real.
Yeah.
They were alive, but now they're not alive. So
yeah, because I had someone once say to me when they came to my house that they don't decorate with artificial flowers.
Well, there are certain trends and certain. I mean, and they're not plastic. It's from, you know, that might be what they meant. But these aren't. I love them. I can't say where I got them because I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about decorating with artificial flowers?
Well, I like the natural. I mean, if it's found in nature, I like it. You're not going to find a plastic rose.
So you can.
Oh, you're not in my way. Here, you want to do
this right here at this table.
You want to do another
These are
one?
artificial, but they're pretty.
It's fine. Yeah. If you like it, it's all good. It's like my one friend. She's like, "Is this wrong? Is it wrong? I bought this. Is it wrong? It's not wrong if you like it." You make it work. You want to do, what do you want to do? You want to do the coffee table? You want to do it? You do it.
Oh, me? Oh, geez.
Oh, come on. All right, so we're going to do it step by step. We're going to break it down and we're going to see. So here, I can't say where this is from, but it's everybody's favorite, not a discount store, but I won't say what it is. I won't say where we got this from. Really affordable. It's local. I love this. I mean, I love that it has this worn feel to it. It's got the shine. So instead of putting it on the table straight, I'll start off like this. It just seems a little bit better to me.
Now, what about these fabrics here? How do you know which one to choose?
I like this because it related with the color right here. This has a lot of texture to it. This was just a clean balance. So it had the high contrast, a little bit of pattern.
You would do all three? Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
You can do extra. You can do more. Here, put this. If you want to have a little bit of extra texture and you want to relate to, here's texture that relates to this, move this over a little bit, you can add things. The more layers that you put, the more visual interest. If it could work if you wanted to. You can add that if you want. It's all a question.
My family is so critical. If they saw me doing stuff like this, they'd be like, "What's this for? Why do you have that there?" And
it's trial and error.
Yeah,
it's trial and error. You don't start off; it evolves.
Yeah,
and that's the charm of it. You don't start off with something in mind and you'll change it out. Now we'll try and put something together and then we'll see if we want to change it out. How about that? Let's see.
Sounds good.
Do we like this? I don't know.
I do like that.
Do we want to use this on this table? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll bring that out. What else do we have? We have, here, let's do shine. We have some shiny. But then we have this rustic. So maybe we want to put this. We have this here. Here's glass. We could put glass. Let's see what we've got. I'm talking to myself.
Oh, hey.
Here we go. We have this. Let's put this on there. So maybe we'll get a little bit of something. See this. Now the thing is, this might not be personal I always put something personal, like this is from somewhere special, this is from someone special, this is from when the Goddess girls and I went on vacation together to Mexico, and we all bought these at the airport, so I have that hanging. It's a bracelet. So
yeah, you know, and I would be remiss if I didn't let the audience know that Anna is affectionately known as the goddess at home. So you got to get that out there.
That was really the girls. My girlfriends, I call them the goddesses because they helped me get through a very difficult, challenging time in my life, and they're very good friends, and we all know that that's who.
Yeah.
That's your, yeah. Now, so here we have this. You can make a little arrangement on your table, and then you can light your candles. So there's like different lifts and levels. You've got your shiny, right? Here's the, we're talking about color, shape. These are neutrals. If I had glass and a bright flower, you can have a color accent. So you've got your shape. So you have all your shapes. They relate, the scale, the texture, the finish. Those are the things that you're looking for. If you want to add...
I like this on a coffee table.
Yeah, but I would
like
take this
mirror
away.
Effect.
I like it too, and I don't like this. So I'm taking this away.
Why? Why don't you like it?
I don't know. It doesn't look good.
You don't think so?
No. So it's all trial and error. I don't like that. You like that?
Yeah.
To me, we'll put this here. You can put maybe on this side. You'll do a couple of other...
For me, sometimes too, I notice when I decorate a room that I don't always get a true feel for it until maybe the next day. I've got to see how it looks. I got to like walk by it several times.
Too high. See how this doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So take it away, and then maybe we'll add this. Put another one over here. Have a little bit more texture, and then maybe we're done.
And if it were summertime, you'd maybe consider putting shells here?
Yeah. So that's simple. So it's functional. You light your candles. You know, there's a balance between functional and decorative.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to edit the balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is functional with the candles.
Right. So like when you light them, there's going to be different levels. Now, if you wanted to, it's also important to, here's a couple of little ones. You might want to put this here.
This is really nice.
Take this away, put a couple of little ones here so they relate to it, so it's that same texture. And then when you have a repetitive object too, there's visual interest there. So here's 3 little ones of these. It echoes this.
Yeah.
It echoes the color here and the texture, the shine and the shine,
yeah,
the circles
I like how this
and the
looks.
circles. So, and it's not symmetrical. It's a little, so, I don't know. I like that.
I like that
I
too.
think that.
Let me get out of the way.
So you're not in the way. So that's all. I mean, it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. People are really intimidated because they're afraid to buy something and spend a lot of money.
True.
And then they feel they're making a mistake, and it's like when you're buying something to wear, you try it on, take it off, try it on. It's the same idea, And if you like certain things, it'll end up probably working. There'll be something, a common thread that connects them in one way or another. Yeah.
Well, what about for like a kitchen island? Like I always struggle with mine. Like, what should I put there? Should I put nothing? Should it just be open? Like I have something on my kitchen table, but like the island, like what should go on there?
Well,
because then I always feel like it's in the way when people are sitting, and then
it depends on how you're using the space. So if your island, let's say you have stools around, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to sit there, they want a little bit of room, you could still, in the center part, you stack up some cookbooks, you put a bowl that has interest, like the bowl that we had over there. Yeah. It's all, again, about the lifts and the levels, and, So you don't want it to be too overpowering because that's a functioning space.
Yeah.
So there, simplicity is also, we have to think about that too. You could do a gorgeous, let's say you have a cylindrical vase. You can give it some height. So you could put branches with berries or something, and then a low bowl, and you put your fruit there so people can grab it, and it's done. So you've got that visual interest. It fills in that negative space, the height that we talked about before. Yeah. And it doesn't interfere with the traffic flow and the function of the room. So it's just, when we were talking before about how an artist would you just have to have a critical eye. When you're learning to do something that's visual, that's how you learn it, visually. You can read the magazines and the books. I read them all the time. It's inspirational.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at something, and now that we've broken it down, you got to just keep trying. It's fun. You can't be afraid, like, oh, am I going to look foolish, or isn't going to look right? You edit. You just try, and again, that's what every designer will look to, those same reference points, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's the scale, the texture, the finish, the color. That doesn't change.
Yeah. I have a tendency to be a bit conservative. I do get nervous about doing things that are too outlandish. Like, I feel like it needs to make sense or something. But then I'll go over to other people's houses and I'll see that they do such beautiful things. And like this, I mean, I would normally not do something like this, but yet this inspires me to want to change my dining room table, because it is kind of traditionally boring.
Well, it's boring if it's been that way maybe for a while.
Yeah.
So you just might want to, use other things. If I brought this into the bedroom and set it at the end of the bed on top of the coverlet with a cup of tea and a this and a that, and made it that mood, it has a whole different purpose.
Yeah, right.
So it'll have a different feel. It's, or you could line these up on a mantle and have just all different glass containers for candles,
glass.
And do it's great. It's versatile. Everybody's got. It's very practical. I mean, there's nothing here that's outrageous. It's all relatively conservative. I mean, there's nothing here that anybody hasn't seen before.
Yeah.
It's just a question of how you lay it out. It doesn't have to be expensive. And then, you enjoy your objects in different places. If you move things around, I mean, everybody knows when they come to my house, there could be a chair in this room, and then it's over there. Next week, it's over there. And it looks different in a different environment. So, I started doing that because it made me feel like I got something new. I was not buying things for years and years.
Yeah.
Or I'll recover something. This is just a remnant. You could see it's even still got, I just brought it for the purposes for tonight. I covered a chair with it. I have this antique chair at home, and it's in my bedroom. So I loved it. So, I mean, it looks great. Maybe I'll make a pillow out of that. But it's just using what you've got and just enjoying it and being creative with it, and just sort of, learn to be visual.
So let me ask you this. If you were doing a kitchen, now, would you just go to friends and families' homes and help them
That's how this all started.
And rearrange the room? Now, what do you look like in their cabinets or their hutches or anything at the dishes that they have? Would you?
Sure, if they want me to. Usually they'll say, I have this, I have that, I don't know what to do with it. Or we'll go around the room then, and I'll take things that may relate.
Yeah.
You start to get a feel for how you want to move with it. But again, it's still trial and error. You just, you don't know how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
And that's the charm of it, because then you feel satisfied. You'll take away, you'll put back, and that's what you do when, again, the artist is doing the still life. I mean, that's part of the excitement, is arranging it, and then taking it all apart again and doing it again. It's infectious. When you're creating something beautiful, you want to just keep doing it. You get excited.
It is fun. I enjoy it too.
Yeah.
But what about? Let me just ask you this. Let me get my paper here. Fall off. Can you? Since you're a textile designer, I watch a lot of these shows on HGTV and friends that do too. And they talk so much about not using curtains anymore. Not using curtains, like leaving the windows open.
You could do
the
that.
Trim, the white trim. Have you heard about that? It's like a new trend or something where, like my mother-in-law, for example, she's taking down her curtains everywhere, like keeping it, it's supposed to be more simple.
It depends on what they were. If they were very heavy treatments and very heavily draped, yeah, I mean things are getting lighter. Things are getting, there's always a trend of going one way or another.
I love curtains.
There's also where a lot of shades now have the pattern.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's very clean, but you're getting a little bit of visual interest and it's flat, so it's not the draped.
So what about like when you have those windows with the nice decorative trim, like in the corners of the windows? I mean, are you supposed to cover those? Because I've heard many times people say, no, you don't cover those. You leave those bare. You don't put curtains on those. But I love curtains. They're so pretty.
Well, there's a lot of different things that fabric changes everything up. I mean, you can, let's say you have a very small, let's say you have a really small window, right? Oh, I don't know if you could do this, if you could see it. Well, I won't draw for you. You can, for example, I don't know how to do it without drawing. All right,
we can draw it, and then we can try to hold it up. I can zoom in.
You can actually extend. Let's say a lot of times people have windows in the basement, right? And they're a small little window, and it's an odd. Let's say they want to make a bedroom down there for the mother-in-law or something like that. Yeah. You can put the fabric across the whole. It makes it look like the window is actually larger. You can cover a large piece of the walls with the fabric, and it gives dimension and texture and height. So, there's different problems that present themselves, and then there are solutions, and they may vary. It depends on the window, it depends on the treatment, the color. You can color things, you can paint it so it disappears, you can paint it so it moves forward. It depends on what you want to do. I mean, if there's something that you think is a beautiful architectural element, you want to make sure that it's seen, you can do that and then relate it to the rest of the room so it looks finished. It's like on a case-to-case basis. It depends on what it is. So you can follow the trends. You don't have to be trendy. If it's something you don't like, you don't have to subscribe to that. You can do what you feel. It's your space.
What about Shears? I love Shears. I know they're old-fashioned. This is what I hear all the time, but
so use it in a new way. You can always use it in a way that may relate to a contemporary styling that seems fresher. So you can use, I just read something about these doilies. Somebody had all these antique doilies of their grandmothers that they would put on the back of the chairs, and she didn't know what to do with them. And they made a runner. So they sort of, arranged them and then sewed them all together and made this unusual table runner, and she was happy.
Perfect.
So there's a lot of things you could do with design. It's endless.
But not everyone has the knack for it, though.
Well, that's why they want you to help them.
Yeah.
And that's why this all happens, because you don't have to spend a lot of money. People can't afford it, or their money is really earmarked for other things. That are very important. But again, it's your home. Just a little bit goes a long way. And as far my Greek heritage always comes into play too, ultimately, because your home is always open. There's always people coming in, and you're feeding them, and family and friends, and the holidays. And my mother would have people come in on the holidays that she'd see in the grocery store if they had nowhere to go, and she'd be like, come, and so it's like packed. And it's part of the culture to have people feel welcome. So creating a nice home doesn't mean you have to have expensive things, but there's a warmth, and it's made to feel as if you care about your space. Then you're offering that to your guest to have them come in and feel welcome. And that's really how this all started. From a little girl, I would be the one that had to clean the house, and I would always kind of fuss a little bit because I wanted everything to be really great for my favorite uncles, and so there's a humanness to it. It's not from a place of pretense. It's your living environment. So it's more than just, being on trend or having to. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't. If you want to do something trendy, get a bucket of paint and paint a wall.
Anna, if our audience members have any questions for you in terms of design, can they reach you by email?
Absolutely.
Do you have an email address? If you want to just let the audience know.
Yes, they can do contact. It's thegoddessathome.com, and there's where you can go on the website, and there's contact information, and that would be wonderful. I'd love to answer questions, sure. Or send pictures. We can show them on the show, offer advice on how to change something out, or that would be fun.
Is your email address on there?
Yep.
Okay, good. So maybe Deb, our producer, can put up her email address.
Sure.
Anna at thegoddessathome.
Sure. That would be great.
Oh, the website.
She did it?
Yay. She's got the website up there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Deb. They can reach you through the website, so that's good.
Yeah.
So what other big points do you want to tell us before we wrap up? Anything that really stands out, or for the person who doesn't know anything about really decorating, what advice can you give them before?
I guess it would just be, to, take in those key points that we had talked about before, and just relax, and it's trial and error. Take the things that you like and experiment. Just put them out and experiment, and if something is pleasing, walk away from it and then enjoy it. And then take it all apart and try again, and just it's a lot of fun. Once you kind of start, I'm sure you'll just keep going.
And so really just find the things that you have at home first.
Sure. Don't go buy anything. Oh no, you already have it.
And if you think about it, if you think about like your kitchen, your hutch or your cabinets, you probably have so many beautiful dishes that no one ever sees. And
well, that's all you have to do. Like, let's say you do have that, or you have other ones in storage.
Yeah.
Just switch it.
Yeah.
Take it all out, clean it, take out your other stuff, and try and arrange them so you can see that pattern. Put the plates up, or I don't know what the furniture is, but and then put the other ones that you're used to looking at away, and look at something new. It's fresh. You have it.
Yeah.
It's done. It's kind of, you'll feel good.
Yeah. And my dining room, as a matter of fact, recently, I'm so sick of the cold weather, I finally put up some light mint green things, just so I could have feel like it was spring. Yeah, refreshing.
It is refreshing. Absolutely.
It does make you feel like you have a new room or a new thing.
Yeah, rearrange something. Go out when you go to Stop and Shop, get a bunch of flowers and throw it in a vase, and feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
Light a couple candles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Everybody loves candles.
They do.
I love candles too. So we may do this again. Have another show, and maybe we can you can expand on more of the bigger room. And,
sure.
So we just wanted to let you all know. Just really keep your eyes open for the next show with Anna and the Goddess at Home, and her home decorating and arranging and staging, and she has so much more to really talk about and to share with the audience. So keep your eyes and ears open, and we'll try to keep you updated too. But for now, that's the end of our show. Thank you so much, Anna,
my pleasure.
for coming on the show.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
And really, really beautiful ideas, and thanks for sharing. We really appreciate it.
I'm glad.
And thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate you watching our show, and we'll see you again soon. Good night, everyone.